Oh, it looks like I need to mow all these flowers, weeds, but I leave them for the honeybees, the henbit and the dandelions and whatever else is out there. But I wanted to show you what I've done here. I did not put the plastic on the top. I wanted to try this shade cloth on here. Got a little gap up there, but this shade cloth, was made in the land of almost right. I do plan on putting some hardware cloth down here on the bottom, mainly to keep the cats out and the bugs. It won't. I mean, since I don't have any plastic on the top, there's really no rush getting this done. Plus, I'd have to go to town and get some more lumber. And these old cages here, they was some cages my grandpa built that they had around some rose bushes. And this is just some old garden hose, water hose that he'd split and wrapped around that. But, I haven't done anything else other than, like I said, I bought some 3/4 inch electrical EMT conduit just to give this shade cloth a little more support, but I'm too short. They didn't have enough of them. So I've got this stretched pretty tight, and I just weaved some twine through those to pull it together. But we'll see how this works this summer. I did go ahead and plant some lettuce and spinach and mustard and radishes. This was some spinach from last year. I'll probably just pull it up and give it to the chickens. It's fixing to go to seed, it looks like. But I did put the plastic on the end walls just because you know, I wanted to hang those doors, so I went ahead and put the plastic on so I could hang those doors there. Mainly to get them off my trailer and out of my way. I don't know, I could probably call into town and see if the lumberyard got any more of that conduit in. And it's not really structural, it's just support. Now, I ordered 2-foot hardware cloth, so probably by the time I get my backing boards on there, yeah, I'll have to move them tubs again. But see, I may have to go ahead and do that to keep them cats out of them tubs. But it's wet. It just seems like all it does is rain. Birds, I hadn't even picked up this conduit, this PVC conduit. I drove by it a couple times. So I need to pick that up, and I will. But I get sidetracked. But I was wanting to fertilize them onions, but it rained, and it rained some more. Anybody in Oklahoma knows what I'm talking about. But my cool season plants are looking pretty good. Yeah, I still have them roosters, and I need to do something. You see, this Bermuda grass is growing. This thing is just full of Bermuda grass. Need to inspect my honeybees. Boy, I imagine if I got in there today, they'd be real happy to see me. Like I said, I've never was really worried about these onions out here, because I've got them in the other greenhouse. I've got tomatoes fixing to bloom in there also. The Jet Setter hybrid tomatoes. It's going to be loud in that greenhouse with all my oscillating fans going, and then that little blower motor that blows air in between my layers there. But as you can see, in the cold weather, that plastic shrinks. It'll loosen up when it warms up, gets hot. And I put that on pretty slack. But I haven't been very impressed with that plastic. I started some pawpaw seeds in these little containers here. We'll see if they sprout. But got some more tomatoes over there started, and some mimosa trees, my little bitty pepper plants. We'll go over there in a minute. My little banana peppers. But here's the tomato plants I've got going now. I see a few blooms starting, and I keep those fans blowing on them to help strengthen the vine on them, plus distribute that pollen also. And I've got a little broccoli starting here, and I believe these are cauliflowers from the looks of it, the way they're growing. And I've been putting up this dill flowers when they open up. I just think it gives them a little more flavor when you're using them for dill pickles and things. So I trimmed it back, kind of get it out of my walkway. I got a strawberry down here. These were the survivors out of those strawberry beds that Bermuda grass took over. Tomato plants are looking pretty good. They'd look a lot better if we get some sunshine. Got a little bloom down there. Give that a little shake. Dislodge that pollen a little. Yeah, I changed the name back to Oakery Raw, but it seems like everybody was stuck on that name, so I guess I'm stuck with it. But I'll be transplanting these into some 4-inch cups pretty soon. They're starting to get their first true leaves, and that's usually when I transplant. Seems to be less shock on them. And I've got several of them in these little cells. I hardly ever leave them in those little bitty trays. I like to get a better root system on them that ain't just root bound. But, got some more coming up over here. These are some Sioux. They're an open pollinated variety. And a Homestead, it's another open pollinated variety. Got Early Girls, Big Beefs. And we got Mountain Merit, Charger, Abraham Lincoln. There's several varieties there, and several of them are open pollinated varieties. But well, my little pepper plants, I let them get dry one day, and I put a little Miracle Grow on them, try to get them to growing. My little muscadine vines, probably not going to grow any more starts. I don't need any more. If I do, I'll make some starts off of the plants already outside. I put some aloe vera in some of these big tubs in here because they will have to be protected from freezing through the winter. My little Baylor laurel tree. Them old jugs there was some Agrand liquid fertilized type stuff that the containers have dry rotted. I need to try to get them out of there. I don't want to pull a Dutch and spill that all over me trying to get them out. May have to set a bucket over them and flip them over in the bucket. Might be my best bet. But I've got plenty of aloe vera plants, and I'm not going to pot all these up. There's probably several hundred of them in there. That's just kind of the way things are going right now. We'll go back out this back door. I kind of offset this other one a little bit because of this exhaust fan. It's going to blow on this plastic. But I can open both of these doors if I wanted to. This one, swings one way, and this one swings the other. And that gives me a pretty clear shot through here. I don't know. I don't know if I want to move these tubs over on each side and run one single one down the middle. Like I said, that would give me 100 tubs in here, or close to it. I moved 2 tubs off the very end down here so I can get in and out the doorways. So may not get exactly 100 in here and still have room to walk and not crowd the plants too much. But yeah, maybe this fall, if I go ahead and put plastic over it, I probably will have to leave it on there. Anybody that's ever put plastic on a greenhouse doesn't want to do it every year, taking it off and putting it back on, because it's hard on the plastic. You're probably going to get some rips and tears in it, and you'll have to fold it up and store it and then put it back on, that fall. So once that's on, it'll probably stay on, and it may change the whole growing inside of here, because it's not tall enough to put a vent. I mean, I could put a small vent up there at the top to help some of the heat escape, but by the time you frame around it, it's going to be a very small vent, even if you put it on the side of the doors. We'll see what happens. But here's the apple trees. They're getting ready to bloom. But the blueberries have bloomed. It's been raining. Hopefully they're getting pollinated. Seen a few honeybees on them. Honeybees will work them. A lot of people says they don't, but they do here. I think I see one buzzing right now over here. These blooms are kind of in their late stages, but the honeybees are looking. He's going through the side. I don't know if you see that or not. Wild cherry. See, it's not bloomed out yet. Won't be long. the warts is a hackberry. Yeah, these will be blooming pretty soon. Got another one around there. Oh, honeybees are kind of quiet. This is the little red buds. They're more purplish pink to me than red. They're just a little short shrub tree. There's quite a few of them around the countryside here. Yeah, I got some little banty chickens down there. Little Easter eggers. And then some golden seabrights. I don't have a golden seabright rooster. Okay, let's mention one more thing. I don't know what the shade rating is on this shade cloth. I don't even know if it even ever said it on the package, but I think I had another black one, but I went ahead and put this green one on. We'll see if there's any difference in them through the year. But I don't think they're over 50%. I mean, this green one, it don't even really look like 50%, but the black one probably is. I don't think I ever bought any that was over 50%. And I don't think they recommend anything over 50% for growing under. Now, I don't know, I mentioned this I think before. A lot of people's wanting greenhouses, and you know, those are pretty large for just a backyard greenhouse. But these little carport frames make excellent greenhouses. And that's what I used these for at one time down in town. But when I moved them back out here, I just put some tin over it and kind of made a little shed out of it. But frame them in, you know, on the end walls, and put you some plastic on it, and put you a little brace down the middle of it on the inside to hold those bows, and they make an excellent greenhouse. I think this one's a 12 by 20, and these are just the standard 5-foot sidewalls. You know, you can get sidewalls taller. So, and I just used them as a holding greenhouse for transplants, just to keep them out of the weather. And that's all I had in them. You know, I'd raise the window on the door, and I had a little window here and another window in the back wall for some ventilation. But I used one as a greenhouse, and the other one I used to cover potting soil and things like that. But like I said, they make excellent little greenhouses, and they're easy to put up. Oh, my little asparagus planter. We've got a few out of them. I see a couple here I can probably take. I usually pick them off about, you know, pencil diameter or larger. And these have been in here several years. They get abused through the heat of the summer. I water them when I can think of it. Yeah, my fig trees, they got froze back to the ground again. That's why I've got a couple of them in the greenhouse that I'll probably just prune back to keep them from growing out the top. See if I get some figs off of them in there. I don't think these varieties depend on the little wasp to pollinate them.